What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Mike Rock Uncensored. If you are enjoying the content and would love to help us grow this community, please do me a huge favor. Hit the like, subscribe, and follow button so that you can receive all the latest updates as we make them available to you. So if I look tired, I am. I am working, taking care of my kids, and then creating videos for you, and then I start over. I find a way to take a shower in between, and I go to sleep. But I'm actually all getting ready to go to work right now. But before I do, I was looking over at X, and I was, as it pertained to the Trump rally in the Bronx yesterday, and it is still amazing to me how much the Democratic Party lies to make people believe a certain thing when everything is actually the exact opposite. They're internet tough guys. They've got nothing to back up what they say in person, live. Everything that they're doing is either bought and paid for bots who are falsely representing the Democratic Party. Their whole job all day is to try to make Republicans and people like Trump look bad. That's all they do. But when it comes to what's going on in person, they don't show up. And Trump had a rally in the Bronx yesterday. And I have to say, Trump is a straight gangster. Like, they were literally daring him to come and represent himself or represent the Republican Party in any city in New York, because New York is predominantly a blue state, or at least it's supposed to be, or at least it was. And what's gangster about Trump is he said, okay, I'm going to show up. And he does. And what's crazy is that before the rally, AOC tried to say that, it's not going to amount to much. The only reason why he's doing the rally in the Bronx is because he has to be there anyway, focusing on the fines that he has to pay and getting ready for this verdict next Wednesday and all of this nonsense. When in truth, he doesn't have to be at court until next week. He could actually be anywhere, and I believe he is actually still traveling to different places to do different rallies. And so it's just funny how she tried to do and say anything to get some public airtime to let the audience know, hey, don't worry about going to see Trump. Ain't nobody else going to do it, so why waste your time? But then they started to show the results, and he actually had, for the Bronx, I'm not going to say it's the largest rally he's ever had, but you're talking about doing a rally in an urban area, a smaller urban area out of the entire state of New York. I don't know the Bronx. I don't know what the population is. I don't know what the turnout is supposed to be for any politician. But when you look at the people who showed up in support of Trump, you're kind of surprised based off of what you heard from the Democratic Party, like nobody was going to show up. And I'm going to show you a video of basically AOC talking crap, and then the people at the rally, their response to what she had to say and the fact that they're there to support Trump. They tried to make you believe that it was only white people at the rally, but they're showing you that it wasn't. And then there's what happened after the rally. And again, the internet tough guys came out after, but nobody showed up during or in person to show their support for the other side.
Trump's not going to the Bronx because he's broke. He's going to the Bronx because the Bronx is broke, thanks to Bidenomics and AOC. Johnny's been there since 2. Hasn't seen a single bus pull up.
Where are you from?
The Bronx, actually.
I'm originally from the Bronx and from New York.
I'm from the Bronx.
Right here in the Bronx, New York. This is home, right here.
AOC says if you're not a Democrat, you don't belong here in the Bronx.
Right.
What do you say?
I disagree with that.
I don't think she should be here in the Bronx. I actually don't know any Democrats living in the Bronx.
Look, AOC, look at the tremendous support for Mr. Donald J. Trump.
You need to tell her then she need to stay out the Bronx, because look at all the people around. Everybody's here for Trump. I am a Democrat, and I belong here.
And who are you voting for?
Donald J. Trump.
What has AOC done for the Bronx?
She's done nothing for the Bronx. Nothing. Nothing's changed. Nothing's gotten any better.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Let her come to the Bronx and let her come among us people that struggle. She doesn't even know what struggle is.
Wow. So, interesting things to point out. Again, there is what's really happening in the world, and then there's what the Democratic Party wants you to believe is happening in the world. They've made all these announcements with all these programs and stuff that they're trying to implement and establish here in America. But to me, it's just kind of funny how all of these plans and all of these infrastructures and connectivity activity, and all of it's happening during election time. Student forgiveness loans. Yes, I know he was doing that earlier in his campaign. But it's number one, it's not even forgiveness. You're basically just transferring debt to people from people who chose some fucked up majors and stuff in college, or didn't do anything with those majors that they had in college, whatever the case may be. And they're transferring that debt over to people who couldn't go to college or already paid their own debt for college, or are still paying their debt to of what they owed when they went to college. But so it's not forgiveness. You're just transferring that debt to hardworking taxpayers. My point, however, is that Democrats will sell you a dream. They're selling you lies. They want you to believe that Trump is the enemy. But once you realize just how much they're lying, and this is part of what turned me from being a so-called Democrat or liberal into joining the conservative party and then supporting Republicans and Trump as a result. When you realize how much they're lying through their teeth, they then become the enemy, because they can't trust you with real information. They can't trust you not to take sides with the truth when all they have to give you are lies, deceit, manipulations, and things like that. And that, honestly, it was the lies. It was finding out that just how much they've duped me in the past that made me start taking a look and educating myself on what was going on the other side. And then you realize that every picture that they try to paint to you about who the Republican Party is on a negative note is usually the Democratic side that has been doing that. And they're basically doing what they did with the forgiveness. They're just transferring the debt. They're transferring the blame and trying to make you believe that everything is Trump's fault. But the more you look at it, and this is the reason why they don't want you educated. When you start to look around, look at the results of what's going on, you deserve to be asking yourself, how are you telling me the economy's better? How are you telling me that we're at an all-time low employment wise when all I see is people who need jobs, when I see people struggling who can't pay their rent, their mortgage, they can't buy groceries? The results don't match up with what you say. You are the enemy. The Democratic Party right now is the enemy of who we are as a people. And what do they say about your enemies? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I'm going to close with this, because all I really wanted to do is to point out another scenario where the Democratic Party continues to lie to the American people, and why we should be fed up, not with just the results that they got over the last 4 years, but the fact that they're still lying. They can't even be man enough or woman enough to come out and say, we messed up and we're trying to get it right. They can't do that because they already know you took everything that was being built while Trump was in office the first time and you deliberately tore it down, not because it wasn't working, but because you didn't want to give that man credit for a job well done. But I'm going to tell you how petty the Democratic Party is. They decided at the last minute, you know what, we're going to show the city just how blue we are. So what they decided to do is to throw a party, a cookout right next door to the Trump rally in the Bronx. They were like, we're going to throw what they called a counter rally, so that people would have the option to either support Trump or support the cookout. And it's funny. You don't even have to take my word for it. Google counter rally in the Bronx. You tell me what you find. The few pictures that I was able to see about what was going on with this counter rally were close up pictures. And if I'm not mistaken, because I don't have enough information on this, I actually think that there were two separate rallies and nobody showed up for the counter rally that was supposed to be dominated by people in the Bronx because they're more blue than red. So I could be wrong, but I actually don't believe anybody showed up for this counter rally. I think there was a third rally where people were saying F Trump and F Biden. Like, they were against everything that was going on in the government. And I think there's some merit behind the way that they feel. A lot of merit actually behind the way that they feel. But at the end of the day, we have two sides that we can vote for right now. We vote for the evil and the negativity and the poor results that we've gotten, or we take a chance with somebody who's already been in office and actually did a decent job until the COVID pandemic hit and hurt the entire world. So I think I'm going to take a chance with what has already worked. And I don't care. Like I said, people are making this about personal issues. You can't make this personal. You have to decide not who is the best person to vote for, but what vote can I make that's going to best serve both me, my family, and the rest of this country. That is not the Biden administration. Name one thing that Biden actually fixed. Not the promises that he made, not the late election ready decisions and pledges and programs that he established, not because they're working, but because he wants you guys to believe that he's doing everything that he can to fix what's going on here in America. You had 3 previous years to do all of that, but you chose to give all of our hardworking money to things like student loan, debt forgiveness, whatever, over to Ukraine. A lot. No money for the people, but you got all this money for foreign countries. You can't fix our borders, but you want to fix everybody else's. Anyways, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Don't believe the lies. Like I said, stay true to yourself. Do everyone a favor. Do the homework. It doesn't take that long. Google is amazing. You can actually Google anything, find out what's going on in the world. Now, yes, you're going to get a lot of biased sources, but that's what we do when you believe in the truth. We're asking you to go to all the sources. Get the information. Even listen to the left side. When they're spewing all of the great things that Biden did, ask yourself, look around in your own neighborhood and ask yourself, is that really what's going on? Or are they just lying again to try to get my vote one more time? You guys have a great rest of your day, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in our next video. I'm Mike Rock. Peace.